What's going on, everybody? Coffee fogged up my lens and my glasses. Trying a new microphone this morning. I don't want to put a bunch of production into these videos, but it's got to sound good. So today I want to talk about you. I want to talk about the audience. I want to talk about shills. I want to talk about this whole thing about trust has been really on my mind. When we throw out that word, that guy's a shill, right? I get it all the time. I don't care. I like what I like. But it's not that doesn't bother me at all, actually. If you call me a shill, it's no big deal. What bothers me it really does bother me, and it sort of speaks to this entire toxicity in the hobby, I guess, is what it says about you. Because if it says that, basically what you're saying is that this video that you're getting paid to make is trying to get me to trick me into buying something that I wouldn't normally buy. It's basically saying that you are not capable of making your own decisions. And I don't believe that. I think that guitar players are smart. I think that pretty much everybody in the comment section is really smart. And if they're not educated on the guitar stuff, they're trying to be. That's why they're here. So giving credit where credit is due, right? Like shills, the whole concept of a shill is just somebody who's just, fake reviews, hidden sponsorships, gets paid, and they say something even though they know it's not true. Basically lie to you to get you to buy their product or support their affiliate link or whatever. And we know that stuff exists. Obviously, it's out there. I'm not saying it doesn't, but we've gotten to a point where we use those kind of pejoratives, use that word as a pejorative where it doesn't even apply. If you don't like a product that I review, then all of a sudden I'm a shill. If you like the product I review, you're like, hey, that was a great video. If you don't like, whatever it is, automatically I'm a shill. Instead of saying, yeah, that's not for me, you're a shill. You got paid. You're only saying it's good because blah, 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 you got paid. You don't have to engage the idea of the product. You don't have to think about it. It's just an easy out, right? You don't have to explain anything. You can just call me a name or call anybody. Not just me. It doesn't matter. You attack the motivation for making the video and not the content, or you attack the motivation for even manufacturing the product. The part that I don't like about it is the whole idea of that assumes that the audience is helpless, right? That you can't think critically, that you can't watch a video and see through the BS when the BS is there, that you don't do the research, that you don't watch more than one video, that you, blindly just buy things because you saw a video. That's dumb. We know you do. I know you do. I don't know if anybody else does, but I feel like you don't do that. You take responsibility for your decisions in some areas of life, maybe not in the comment sections all the time, but you do. But especially in the guitar world, that's kind of nonsense, because the way people actually buy gear in the guitar world is we watch a ton of videos. We read a bunch of forums. We ask a bunch of questions. We hang out in a bunch of groups. We do a bunch of research, right? Because we're nerds about this stuff. Like the more enthusiastic you are about something, the longer you're going to nerd out about it. And even an impulse buy, I just bought this PRS, not on an impulse, but I was like, yeah, I just want that guitar. It's really cool. It's after years of kind of seeing it, being around it, understanding it, kind of having an understanding that I wanted that guitar, and then boom, I pulled the trigger, right? So it wasn't even really an impulse buy. I put a bunch of time into it that you don't quantify that time. You don't say I spent 10 hours researching it, but you do. You do that thing. Nobody watches one video and just slaps down hundreds of dollars on something. Usually they they do some research. We're some of the most obsessive researchers on earth. That's like, I mean, that's what we do. So, uh, and I think that's one of the reasons why I make these videos on this channel is when you see stuff like that, you want to call it out. Like you don't want people to, I don't know, you don't want people to be called names. You don't want people to be made fun of. You want to give them some space to do what they want to do. You know, I in these videos I get told all the time that like my videos alienate viewers. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. But that's not why I make them. I make them because I think that a lot of these ideas are like actively bad for guitar playing. I am a proponent of keeping guitar alive in its most traditional forms, tube amps and vintage guitars and etc., and in recognizing and adopting the latest technology and being able to incorporate all of it to make music. I just think that some of these ideas that we see on a daily basis, every company is greedy, every reviewer is a shill, every review is every YouTuber is a shill, every review is fake. The most expensive product is a scam. Every affordable product is junk. You know, there's these extremes of these ideas. And honestly, none of that really is true. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's not true. And if I bring up an idea and it alienates you because you think differently, then how you address that information and how you take in that information is on you. I don't expect you to agree with me all the time, ever, actually. I hope you don't. But when you do just adopt these ideas, like everybody's a shill, for example, it stops people from learning. You just stop learning. You replace curiosity with cynicism. People talk about criticism all the time, but it's not. It's cynicism. Criticism is, hey, your audio sucks, you should get a better microphone. Cynicism is, okay, well, let's talk about that. So criticism is trying to get something to improve, and usually it's incrementally, right? Skepticism is show me the evidence. I want to see the evidence. So that's why we bring receipts basically on all of our videos. Like, I'm going to show you on a meter. I'm going to show you cynicism says, I already know you're lying. I already know you're wrong because I think differently. And that's not the same thing as criticism. A healthy hobby needs skepticism, but a toxic hobby runs on cynicism. It does. And guitar hobby does. It doesn't mean that we need to blindly trust everything everybody says. I think you should absolutely evaluate the credibility of every person that you take in information from. That's really, really, really important. Is the person consistent? Do they admit their mistakes? Do they make retraction videos? Like, I don't want to say retraction videos, but we'll make another video and be like, yo, we missed this. This was wrong. Do we criticize products that we use? This one's a little weird for me because I'll tell you things I don't like about a product, but we don't review stuff we don't like. It just doesn't make any sense to me. If somebody sends me a product that I don't like, I don't see a point in reviewing it. There's enough reviewers out. I just don't find it constructive. So if it looks like we just say nothing but good about everything that we ever review, it's probably because we do. If there's a product that we don't like I said, I just don't review it. And there's been products that I've sent back without reviewing There's been products that I refuse. Guitar Center sends me stuff all the time, and they are really good about it. Hey, they'll send me an email. What do you think? Are you interested in this? Not really. It's just not, no, and I just kind of turn it down ahead of time. Um, do they stand behind the recommendations long term? Now that doesn't mean you can't change your mind and something new doesn't come out better and maybe you get tired of something. I get that all the time too. You sold that guitar. I thought you loved it. Well, of course. I mean, that's what we do here. We have stuff come in and out all the time. So, so don't trust everybody, but figure out who deserves trust and give them that trust. Um, because here's the thing: if manipulating people was this easy, uh, we'd all be way richer. But it's not. And that's not the point of doing any of it. You know, you reject products all the time. I reject products all the time. Uh, the market is brutally honest. Obviously we've seen that with this Fender thing over the last few weeks. So I think that's really good. I think when you stay honest with what you believe in, even though a company does something that you don't believe in, I respect that. I don't like the toxicity behind it. I don't know that it's necessary to burn a guitar in the street and talk a bunch of trash on the internet, but I do think calling it out and being part of the conversation is really important, right? Like that's really, really good. One of the things I have learned from this business, because a lot of people, again, they'll say you're alienating by making a video like this and saying, don't call people a shill and calling out these bad ideas. People will say you're, losing customers and alienating customers. But the truth is this, I'm not losing customers. The people that are typically super angry about this stuff weren't going to buy anyway. And I'll tell you that I know that I rarely lose a customer. I gain a lot of customers actually, because of the brutal honesty that we have on this channel and on our other channel. People like the fact that I'm not afraid to say what the right thing is. The folks that feel convicted by what I say because they're part of the problem usually are not my kind of customer. And here's why. Because my values as a company owner and my values as a human being do not align with that person because they are a troll. And that's okay. They can go buy troll products. They don't need to buy awesome stuff from us. That's fine. They can make that choice. It's no big deal. Not everything is for everybody. Not everybody is for everybody, right? But the people who buy our pickups, they're around for all the live streams. They're around for all the videos. They're saying positive stuff. They've supported us for years. And here's the thing. When I think about that shill thing, bringing it back around to that, I know that my customers and my viewers that watch this channel for the sake of watching it are thoughtful people. That's why you're here. And so thank you, actually. Thank you for being critical of stuff, telling me to get a new microphone, being part of the conversation. There's a difference between contributing to the conversation and trying to tear it down, right? And so that's really the thing. Most of the things that get called out are things that tear down this hobby. If you're one of those people that does that, then yeah, you're going to feel convicted by that. But if you are a person who really loves this, asks questions, challenges ideas, doesn't agree with me on stuff, but does it in a way that actually forwards the conversation, that's the difference, not being just some dumb troll, then I love it. It's awesome. And I'm glad that you're here. And I think that the comment section doesn't deserve or doesn't get the respect that it deserves because the majority of you aren't actually commenting. The majority of you are just watching and going, yeah, that's cool, man. And so for those of you that don't ever say anything, and are really positive about this hobby, and get in the comments, be more of a positive force, right? I think being a part of the solution is kind of what I'm trying to do with like Dylan Talks Tone 2. and to encourage other people to be part of that solution too. I have faith in people. I know a lot of people don't these days. But I trust people to be smart enough to, especially at least my viewers and my customers. We make a premium product that does a thing very, very well. It is for thoughtful enthusiasts who want to improve their guitar playing experience and are willing to spend what it takes to make them good. And you have proven that to me 20,000 times. We've made 20,000 pickups. And the bottom line is, this is making everything better. You guys are awesome.